Oh, hello, Gemini, and welcome to your February predictions. This video is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So, if one of your big three is Gemini, this one is for you. And go and also check out your other two signs because we want a full picture of your February. So, let's get started. Before we look into your February cards, I actually want to know what energy you're coming out of when it comes to January. And here you can already see if the message resonates or not. Because yes, we do, by we I mean the readers, we do always say check out your sun, moon, and rising, but sometimes one resonates more than the other. So Gemini, let's see. Oh, looks very serious already. But you know what? No, not so much. We will see. We'll see what the cards are. I only got one so far. Okay. Gemini, rising. I say Gemini rising because I'm a Gemini rising, but it's for sun, moon, and rising. Oh, interesting. Okay, so instead of just commenting on the cards, I tell you what I have on my table so far. We have the Ten of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. What else is going on? I have a feeling. Yeah. Okay. I have a feeling. And I mean, of course, it makes sense because I'm a Gemini rising. And no, I don't want you to think that I'm going to only put in whatever I experienced in January because it's different for all of us. But the themes can definitely be the same, or they should be more or less the same. Okay. So far I also got the Three of Wands and the Judgment card. Anything else, Spirit Guides, regarding Gemini risings in January? Okay, we also have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so your January was a bit tough, but I'm saying a bit because it seems like whatever happened is over now. We have the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords, I mean, if you look at the image, it looks, yeah, I mean, quite severe pain. But the tens are the highest number that we have. I mean, yeah, of course, then we also have the Knight and the King and so on. But when it only comes to the numbers, this is the highest one for the sword cards. And it means completion. Whatever happened, whatever that dark, difficult, harsh chapter was, is over now. You're done. It's over. It's done. And then we have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Two queens, Queen of Swords and Queen of Cups. It's interesting because another sign had something very similar, but I don't want to say what it is in order to not. Well, I can say what it is because if it is your sun, moon, or rising, then that fits perfectly. It was in the Taurus reading, in the reading for Taurus. And I explained the same thing, that individually, the context matters, but individually, we would consider these King and Queen cards as something very positive. But in this context, it doesn't look like it. So something happened in January, or you still had the energy of this in January, where people of authority, probably two, probably females, but doesn't have to be, people of authority made things a bit difficult. Okay, they made things difficult, but it also looks like whatever happened is done. And I'm not just saying this because of the Ten of Swords, which is, of course, an important indicator, but it's not the only thing. There's also the Judgment card, and it speaks of whatever was supposed to happen happened. And yeah, judgment has been served. That's not what one usually says, but it's the sentence that came up in my mind. whatever was going on is cleared now. So I think it has something to do with documents, paper, something like that. Because the judgment card, I mean, judge and judging and so on and so forth, could definitely be something that has to do with official paper and stuff. It was definitely annoying for sure, but it is over now. And whatever happened, the important thing is that it's done. I'm not saying it was easy, but what I am saying is from now on, it will be less difficult. Okay? It's like, I want you because that's what I'm feeling inside. And I pick up on energy. So this is the energy that you're hopefully in. I want you to feel a sense of relief. Okay? That something is done now, even if it's not so even if it's not resolved completely. Look, here's the thing. I'm talking very slowly because as I'm speaking, this usually doesn't happen. So you have to breathe through Gemini. If you're new on my channel, I mean, even if you're not new on my channel, bear with me for a moment because of course I'm able to form sentences much faster. But as I was speaking, a ton of images kept showing up in my mind. And usually it's one image for every few cards, and then I understand what the message is. But for you, information kept flying in my head in the form of pictures. And here's the thing. I said I'm not going to integrate whatever happened in my life just because I'm a Gemini rising, but clearly, my example is actually a good example because my spirit guides keep sending, and your spirit guides as well, keep sending those images in my head. So I have an example because for me, it was actually two women, which is interesting. And it definitely had to do with official paper. One was my, what do you call it? I don't know, my tax person. And the other one was for some kind of insurance. And the thing is, it was annoying and it was something that I had on my mind for a while because those were huge bills, okay? Not something that you can easily pay. It's something where you really have to think, okay, how am I going to do this and that? And it had to do with two women, coincidentally, but I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that way. Queens and kings talk about people of authority. So that authority can also be someone else, can also be an institution. Okay. And the thing is, that's why I'm talking about, that's why the judgment card stood out so much to me because sorry, I have to slow down. It's because all of these images still show up in my mind. Okay, spirit guys, thank you. I got the message. Now let me please explain to Gemini. Look, my situation was actually resolved in January. And the funny thing is, I mean, I could show you proof, but I'm not going to because it has my address and everything. I got a letter today, on this day. And right now is the 1st of February. Yeah, I had to check the time. It's in the middle of the night, but it is the 1st of February. So meaning that literally I'm coming out of that energy. As I said, we're going to check out your tarot cards for January 1st and then see what is going on in February. And I got a letter today where whatever I filled in those documents, whatever I wrote in those documents was accepted. Okay. It's still a thing of, okay, now I have to see and plan and organize stuff. How am I going to do this and this and that? But the situation has been resolved. Okay, so a plan is here. We have a plan now. We now know what to do, what's coming next. And this is what I was trying to explain, but then the images kept interrupting my sentences. And it's that it's not resolved in the sense of it's over and let's pretend it never happened. It hasn't been erased out of your life completely. It's not like that. But in my opinion, it's far more annoying and difficult when something is not clear. And whatever hasn't been clear is clear now. So the most difficult part, look at the 10 of Swords. The most difficult part is over now. Tens talk about things being done, okay? That part is definitely over now, okay? And I mean, if we're talking about literal examples, just like me, maybe you haven't received a letter or something like that in January, but on the 1st of February or the upcoming days. I mean, when we talk about energy and stuff, energy doesn't work like that. They don't look at the clock or at the calendar. And then they're like, oh, it's already February 1st. Okay, let me go back into my shell. No, it's not working like that. That's why we even say in astrology that there are shadow periods and stuff. This is one part of your January. The other part are these two cards, and this for sure is the more exciting part. I mean, yeah. And I think they go hand in hand, more or less. And I'm saying it, I'm phrasing it this way because I don't want you to think this is a direct consequence of what we just talked about. No, but they do kind of go hand in hand because we have the three, no, it's this one. We have the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands shows a person who's looking into the distance because where they are right now, they understand is not the right place. And there's a big difference between this and the Eight of Cups, for example. I'm sure you know what the Eight of Cups look like. If not, you can Google an image and see what it looks like. There's a big difference because the Eight of Cups leave a place because of disappointment, because they haven't been treated fairly or in a good way, in the right way, and they just haven't been treated well. And then they're like, okay, it's done. This chapter is over in my life. I'm moving on. But when it comes to the Three of Wands, they are also moving on, or let's say they want to move on, but it's more of a hopeful sense. Okay, it's more hopeful, more positive. Like, I'm ready for a new chapter. I'm definitely ready, most of all, because the previous chapter was not so fun. And I'm going to do this for myself. I'm creating a new life for myself. So this is a very hopeful person looking into the distance and dreaming of a better future. And I'm pretty sure, and oftentimes this is the case anyway, it has something to do with money, with career, with work, a passion project, something like that, because we have the Page of Pentacles. And Pentacles, I mean, they are the coin, so it's the money. So it has to do with career. And the pages are the ones who start. Okay, first we are a page, then we are a knight, then we are a king or a queen. Okay, so it is, you are starting fresh because you really want to start something fresh. Whatever issue you had has been cleared or is going to clear out very soon. As I said, there are shadow periods and stuff. And then you're going to move on. You're going to move on. And let's see what we have for your February. Wait a second. Okay. I'm smiling because I put the whole deck of cards on my table. I mean, of course, what else am I supposed to do? Put it in my pockets? No. And one card stood out, and it's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. I was just talking about pages and cups and kings. And now it's already like you are a page. Yes, you are a page. Coming out of January, this is the energy. You are a page. And no, we're not becoming knights overnight. But this is something that you are transitioning to now. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is the slowest moving knight. And I don't want you to be discouraged now, Gemini, because slow and steady wins the race. It speaks of a lot of discipline. If you're able to do something that we hear often in YouTube videos when it comes to career and these motivational stuff and this take 6 months for yourself, disappear for 6 months, delayed gratification, delayed gratification. Okay, there's hardly anything you can do that's better for you because it shows a lot of discipline and self-respect. Okay, so the Knight of Cups may be the slowest moving knight, but I mean, if you make me choose, I would always choose the Knight of Cups. Okay, and a cup is something that we worked for. It can be something that is given to us as a gift, as an offering, of course, but it can also be something that we gift ourselves, you know? So you're working on filling that cup. That's great, Gemini. Now let's move on to what February is going to bring you. And I mean, this definitely is a transition for sure, but it's not 100% a February prediction yet. Don't you like the name February? Okay, look, so now we are checking out the Spirit Animal Oracle card decks to find out what you are working towards, who you are becoming. And I do want to have a message for February, but you probably, or we are probably going to get a card with adjectives that are difficult to become. You know what I mean? Lola, shut up. Just shuffle the cards. And then I'm going to explain. Oh, okay, we already got it. It's the dog. And it stands for friend. Oh, okay, I have to do it this way so you can see it better. It's the dog card. And the dog stands for friends. I'm going to read the text for you. Today, I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm, are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I am a protector and friend. Very interesting message. Very interesting. You know why? Because I didn't expect it to be so much regarding yourself. I thought it would be more like receiving something or putting something out there, but not regarding yourself so much. And I was just talking about things like delayed gratification, discipline, self-respect. And now we are adding on with happiness, protection, everything regarding ourselves. Today, I will love without condition. You will love yourself without condition, Gemini. Okay? I think we oftentimes talk about a lot of people have issues with their family, with their parents in particular, and also with partners, unfortunately, when it comes to things like conditional or unconditional love. But I think people forget that we are our harshest critics. And you can criticize yourself because we should reflect on what we do, what we can do, what we can't do. But be gentle. Be gentle with yourself, okay? You are not going to gain anything by insulting yourself, by being hard on yourself. Expecting the most is one thing, but being hard on yourself, as in calling yourself something like things like, oh, you're such a loser, you have to work harder and harder and even harder. These things are not going to work, okay? It's not going to work in the long run. What did I want to do? Yeah, I wanted to read it again. Today, I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration to yourself and to others, Gemini. I choose to be happy. I am a protector and friend. Happiness is a choice. It is indeed. Recently, I heard a snippet of a podcast and a person who said the same thing on multiple podcasts. And it bothers me. And I'm sure he's not the only one. But I heard it from him multiple times. And this is why I always associate that phrase with him. He says, what's the opposite of happiness? Sadness, meaning that if you're sad, you cannot be happy. If you're happy, you cannot be sad. Let me tell you from experience that this is not true. I'm not only talking about sadness, I'm also talking about, I know TMI, and no, I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm talking about actual diagnosed depression, okay? And yes, I was still able to have moments of happiness. No, one thing doesn't have to be without the other, or saying things like it can only be without the other. That's false. And this is why it's absolutely true to say happiness is a choice. It is not an ongoing feeling 24/7, all day, every day. And the same goes for sadness. We choose to feel this thing, and we also choose to feel the other thing, even in the most severe situations where we feel like I cannot get out of this emotion. It is still temporarily. It still is. Choose to be happy, Gemini. I mean, if you have the choice, why would you choose something other than happiness? I mean, you can. If you have arguments for that, I will gladly listen to it if you want to leave a comment or something. Okay, now that was your spirit animal card. Now let's check out the tea leaves and see what is going on for Gemini in February. Ooh, we have December and we have the wishbone, a wish is granted. So maybe you wished for something in December, or you manifested something, or you did some witchcraft in December. It's okay, I'm not gonna tell. No, just kidding. It's about spirituality anyway, so go for it. Or you prayed for something in December. So this card is telling you your wish will be granted. Your prayer will be heard. Your manifestation is going to be fulfilled. Did you pray for marriage, Gemini? If so, you also have the tulip for great passion. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, you have the gavel, involvement with the law, which brings me right back to what I said in the beginning with January. It is possible that there are coming more cards for this, but I'm telling you now because I thought of this immediately. As I said, maybe you are still going to receive a certain email or letter or whatnot, and that would be the involvement with the law. So it makes sense with whatever we said in the beginning. Any other messages for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising regarding their month of February? You have the bowl, plenty of material things, which also immediately makes me think of the beginning of the reading because, once again, with the law card, because I gave you an example of two situations where I had to pay or still have to pay two huge bills. I wanted to say oh, come on, two huge bowls. No, I had to pay or I have to pay two huge bills. And of course, these things make you worried. Of course, these things make you worried, but your spirit guides are reassuring you that you are going to have everything you need. You will be fine for sure. And this also makes me think of a reading I listened to recently. And by recently, I think I mean yesterday or the day before. And in that reading, it was said that I should take a bowl of fruit and put it on my desk. I do have a bowl of fruit, but it's in the kitchen. But she said in her reading to take a bowl of fruit and put it on my desk because it's going to attract luck. So I'm telling you the same because I see it here in the depiction. Gemini, do it. And no, it doesn't have to be such a fancy bowl, but if you do have one, then send me a link because it is beautiful. And it also doesn't have to be a huge one. Just take a bowl, a bowl you would eat cereal out of, okay? And then take some clementines or whatnot. Oh, interesting. We have some more fruit going on. But first of all, you have the card of a fair woman. Dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. I know that it's not the case for everyone, Gemini, but once again, I'm thinking of the two women of authority I had to deal with. And yeah, the thing is, because I'm glad that this card came out. We also have the negative version of this card, but I'm glad that this card came out, especially one of the two. One of the two women I had to deal with actually helped me a lot, a lot, a lot. It was that insurance thing. And she realized, because I also explained to her that I actually don't know much about that topic. And she understood, okay, this person needs a bit more help and a bit more explanation and whatnot. And she actually helped me out a lot. So once again, this makes me think of that situation. And as I said, you're coming out of that energy, but energy doesn't stop just because a calendar changes its month. You are still going to have that energy lingering around. But here's the thing. It's interesting because this card came out between these two cards. We have the bowl and we have the basket. And both in the bowl and the basket, you have a bunch of fruit. Talking about material abundant things. okay, that nature has plenty of. Nature, if you think of nature, tomatoes, for example, you eat one tomato, inside of that one tomato are a bunch of seeds for multiple new ones. In that sense, nature is absolutely perfect. Okay, stuff keeps growing. It's absolutely possible for us to have plenty of food. Now, what does it say? Recognition, reward for merit. Okay, that's what the basket card says. Now, let's see if there are any more messages for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising in this deck, or in this half of the deck, because I have another half. No, I'm just forcing the messages. That's not how it works, Lola. It's not how it works. So I'm putting this batch down only to pick up this batch because I have some more tea leaves. Okay, dear spirit guides, can we please have a message for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising? Yes, we do. For their February. What is going on? What is happening? This card wanted to come out, and okay. What is going on? Let's take a look at whatever came out so far. Oh, wealth is coming, Gemini. Wealth is coming into your life. You also have the table, hard work ahead, but it's going to be rewarding because actually this card came first and then the wealth card came. Okay, so I said it the other way around. And you also have the dog card, which was also your spirit animal card. And the dog here stands for protection from a powerful friend. Okay, so you are actually the friend, but you also have a powerful friend. If you are a lone wolf, which I mean aligns with the dog theme, if you are one, then you yourself, you are that powerful friend for yourself. But it can also be another person who is that powerful friend for you. What else is going on for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising in February? Oh, you also have the dolphin. Financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. Makes me think of your December and your wish being granted, but doesn't have to be. It can actually be from a time that has been much longer ago. Can we have... No, it wasn't you, it was you. Oh, wait a second, wait. Oh, why do we have so many food themed things? On the bottom of this deck, we have the bread card, period of prosperity and abundance. While I said it, I was looking like this. Why? It's actually very positive. And I have to keep in mind that I'm a Gemini rising, so this message is for me as well. And you also have the horse card, a short journey, meaning the money might not come tomorrow, but it's going to come soon. Okay, it's a short journey. Anything else for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising in February? This will be the last card. Okay. Oh, what in the world is going on? What in the world is going on? Okay, no, seriously. What in the world is... Wait. No kind of situation. So yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. On top of the deck. So first of all, this is why I said what in the world is going on. You have the four-leaved clover. Gemini, like what the hell is going on? Great good fortune. And here's the thing, makes me immediately think of myself. This card. This card makes me immediately think of myself. Your spirit guides want to reassure you that everything I just said is absolutely true, because if you are like me, and it's very likely, because if you are Gemini rising, then we have traits that we share. The thing is that you might not believe that all these good things are coming. This is why the spirit guides sent you the rainbow as a final tea leaf message. And it says the most difficult part of a situation is over. Whatever you had to deal with in January, it's the most difficult part is over. It will be solved very soon if it hasn't been solved already. The most difficult part of you working so hard is also over. It doesn't mean that you're not going to work much. Like, let's say you're able to transition from a mundane job that you actually didn't like so much, and you had to work hard in order to make more money, like working overtime and stuff. And transitioning to another job, maybe even becoming self-employed, where you can work on your passion and whatnot. Of course, you're going to work a lot, but working hard and with no, or at least with very tiny outcome, and working a lot on something that you actually enjoy, that's not the same. You know, it makes me think of how you would say in German Albert Einstein, or in English Albert Einstein, which really makes me cringe when it's pronounced this way, but I mean, internationally, I just say it that way. Who actually said that a minute, time is not the same for everyone. A minute where you have to do something boring, I don't know how the exact quote was, but you can comment and let me know. A minute of hard work or talking to a boring person goes by much slower than a minute talking to a beautiful woman. Okay, and that's the same. Working hard, it might be the classic 9 to 5. And how much is that? 6, 7, 8 hours? I mean, of course, 9 to 5 is not 6, 7, 8. Yes, I can do math, but we take lunch breaks in between and so on and so forth. But that the hours are limited. Okay, you clock in at a certain time, you clock out at a certain time. But when you work for yourself, especially, it doesn't have to be the case, but if you do so, you work around the clock whenever it's necessary. And most of the time when you work on something you're passionate, you're passionate of, you're passionate in, you're passionate, you know, whatever the preposition is, you're not going to stop in the middle of a project. You're not going to and say things like, oh, I'm not getting paid enough for overtime, I just move on, just go on tomorrow. No, you're going to finish that project. If it takes until 1 a.m., so be it. You're going to finish it, because I know that that's how it works. I had a bunch of working hours today, and I'm recording this in the middle of the night, and this is not my full-time job. Okay, this is not my full-time job. But do I care about the time? Do I care about how many hours I worked today already? No, I don't, because I love doing this, Geminis. Okay, so this is all the important stuff for a February prediction, but wait a second. Don't run away, because there are two more things. I'm going to do a love reading at length because the Valentine's Day is coming up. So of course I'm going to do a love reading, but for now we are going to shuffle this card deck for the singles and another card deck for the ones in a relationship, and see what comes out. So if you are in a relationship, please wait 2 minutes, because first we want to see what's happening for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising when it comes to their love life in February for the singles. Dear Spirit Guides, dear Spirit Guides, can we please have a message for the single Geminis in February? Okay, so guys, if you don't want to have kids, contraception up, okay? Don't risk it, because we got 2 cards with 2 children each, and one of them is the children card. Okay, so first you got the children card. It says your love life is being affected by children, and if you don't want that to be the case, be very careful, Geminis. And then we have make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you guided to take. And not only that, because on the bottom you also have you deserve love. And it seems like your spirit guides know that this is something that you need to be told, because maybe you haven't been told enough, or unfortunately you need to be told, because people have been a bit shitty in your life, and this is why you need some confirmation. But yes, it's true, Geminis, and I know what I'm talking about. Just trust me on this one. It says you are lovable. Okay, fantastic. This was for the singles. Don't forget the contraception. I told you. Don't say I haven't told you. And now for the ones who are in a relationship, what is going to go on in February for the ones in a relationship? This is your card. I keep thinking of the children card. It seems like the children card is also going to affect people who are in a relationship. I mean, sure, it makes sense. You are probably more likely to have some action going on than the singles, okay? So be careful, even if you are in a relationship. Don't be so strict with the things when people like me, it's not just me, it's every reader on YouTube or every reader in real life. If we say things like this is for the singles, this is for the taken ones, most of the time that is the case, but oftentimes the energies can be, they can be fluid. Okay, so once again, this is for the taken ones, and it's interesting because we have a water um, image here and also here in the You Deserve Love card. So once again, it feels like it wasn't like that for the other zodiac signs. I'm not done with all the zodiac signs yet, but with the ones I recorded so far, it wasn't like this. I did not feel like the cards for the singles and the taken ones were so connected. But here I do. Here we have some water going on and here as well. Now let's say, let's see what the card says. I'm showing it in the camera, but I am going to read it out for you. It says, emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. If you're feeling any kind of resentment towards your partner or towards something that happened in the past, you have to let go. Otherwise, it is going to affect your relationship in a not good way. And you have another card. And this is what it says. But once again, I'm going to read it out anyway. So it says, imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. And if this doesn't go hand in hand with this, then I don't know. Then I just don't know anymore. Okay. Because if you're able to let go of the resentment, then new opportunities and possibilities are going to enter your your life, as in your love life. That's what I wanted to say. Hey, your reading was a bit difficult to phrase. For you, it was a bit difficult to talk because so many messages were sent to me outside all the cards that are on the desk. And yes, I did include them in the reading. I just didn't say it constantly, oh, I have an image of this and an image of that. No, but I did include everything in the reading. It's interesting because it's also, it's a bit short breathing, which means that there's a lot of energy right now in this room. So your spirit guides are definitely present. Whatever they had to tell you today is something that you needed to hear, Geminis. Okay? And take it seriously. Believe them. Believe them that the wealth is coming. Believe them that the abundance is coming. Believe them that you will always, no matter what, have plenty of fruit, of food, I wanted to say. You had the basket, you had the bread, you had the bowl, wherever it is, here it is. Okay, so many things. You had the dog card twice. You even had a dolphin. Why am I saying you even had a dolphin? Because they are so special. I love dolphins. Did you know? Okay, this is a total side note, and I know that some of you are going to think this girl is crazy, but look, if you are on this side of YouTube, you have to be open to these things. Did you know that it's said, and I think it is the case, that dolphins actually come from another planet where there used to be, the planet doesn't exist anymore, but there used to live beings that looked a lot like human beings. And when dolphins see us, they become happy and they are very easy to interact with. Why? Because we look familiar to them. We look familiar to dolphins. This is why they like us. And we do look familiar to dolphins because we resemble beings from another planet. And that's all I had to say today. Thank you very much, Geminis, for listening. And as I said, check out your other two big signs. Maybe if you are Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, well, then there you go. You have your full round message for February and what's to come next as well. But if you want to hear more about your love life, as I said, a February Valentine's reading is coming for that. And if you're interested in any other videos that I uploaded so far, check them out. And for the upcoming ones, subscribe to my channel so you're not going to miss them. And I see you very soon, Geminis. Goodbye.